I think growth is no longer taken for granted in China. I think before we just, had supply and then growth just kind of came, demand just came. It's no longer the case. So we talked a lot around how innovation and maybe the green economy and some of these new forces will actually help to spur growth. I think China is very intent on trying to figure out how to usher in the next era of growth in the economy that is right now stagnating a little bit.
Was it convincing enough in terms of going far enough to allow foreign investors to feel confident about investing in China?
I think foreign investors, as well as domestic investors, all now need more confidence, right? I think in the last couple of years, there's been a little bit around, what does the next decade mean for investing in China? And I think people have kind of hit the pause button a little bit. I think in the last year or two, I think people are now, in our thinking, recalibrating a little bit around how would they want to invest in China. And in our world, we see two spectrums, right? There's one spectrum of investors who are right now sitting on the sidelines, watching, waiting, and for them, the opportunity cost of sitting out right now is not so great. So why don't I wait and see? But we do see actually some pretty committed investors who are, doubling down or in some ways even increasing the investment in China. And I think that's really, a diverging world, right? And you see more Middle Eastern money coming in, you see a little bit more maybe European, versus US, right? You see a little bit of different maybe characteristics of the money, right? But I think you are seeing a little bit of a divergent path in terms of how people see how China means for them in the future.
What are you seeing in terms of how MNCs are really feeling about some of the improvements that China has made over the last year or so to make it a more attractive, comfortable business environment to operate in, and particularly even here in Dalian, which has actually taken steps to do that?
We are sitting here for the last couple of years and we have seen the Chinese actually accumulate a lot of deposits in their bank account. There's 56 trillion RMB that has been saved in the last 3 years for people not spending, okay? That's over 1 year of demand. The question is, what would unleash that spending, right? What would actually get the Chinese to start, spending and feeling that they want to, live that quality of life. And we see in there many aspects of that creeping up now, right? So, when we look at travel, I think that there is actually a lot of that is coming back. If you are in the Chinese airlines, you see that there's actually quite a lot of domestic travel coming back, right? You see actually quite a lot of experience being, money being spent on experience, right? So you do see a little bit of that. And I think for multinationals, as we observe this, right, you are seeing a little bit of signs that perhaps the stability, right, and that confidence is reaching a level where, waiting for that unleashing to happen. Not there yet, but we're hopeful that that's 56 trillion. If it starts coming out, that's a lot of money that can be spent. China is in no lack of savings. They lack of right now a bit of confidence in unleashing that spending.